is a GIVeconomy general call where we'll talk about development stuff and then we'll talk about research stuff. Well, I'm hoping some devs show up. The first things I have on the agenda are GIVeconomy dev related. But yeah, anyway, I guess we can just get started with intentions and distractions. So one intention I have for this call is like, because it's the first call of combining everything, I want to just also know what everybody's kind of priorities are for this call, or what they're like, oh yeah, these are the things that we should definitely talk about in this call. So maybe when we're doing a round of check-ins, you can also say if there's anything that you're like, I really hope that this thing still gets talked about in the GIVeconomy call. Because I was going through the notes of both of last week's meetings, and there's a lot of things on there. I'm like, do we really need to talk about this still? So I tried my best to piece together the agenda, but I would love your help in letting me know what you think is important to discuss here. And so those are my intentions. And the other intentions I have are here on the agenda. Actually, the most important thing to me is the PFP collection. And I am not distracted, except my laundry machine is really loud, so it's a little bit challenging. And I will pass it to Griff.
Oh, thank you. Well, the big things, I would love to make sure that we get an update on like the progress on some of the research projects. I don't think it has to be long, but it's just like, okay, QF, any blockers? GiveFi, what are the blockers? Integration with NFT platforms, what are the blockers? What's the status? Are there, and then any other like research statuses. That's probably the big thing. And I also have one other agenda topic that's just kind of research related around give backs on multiple chains. And as far as that's my only intention to add anything. Distractions, I need to edit this blog post that I'm trying to put out for Giveth, so I will probably not. I'll probably be zoned out unless you say my name. Working on that. I'll throw it over to Suga.
Hey everybody! Thank you, Griff. Yes, well, I'm a bit of a fly on the wall. I just want to get up to date, see what's going on, see how I can contribute if you want me to, and I don't have any distractions. I'll pass to Jake.
Thanks, Suga. Intentions for the call, or kind of what I'd like to see still incorporated, would be, we went over like product and features and the revenue streams in the hour-long 10 a.m. Costa Rica time call. So those are really beneficial. I think a lot of the rest of it is covered in the fundraising call or governance call. So nothing else, I guess. Those would be the intentions, to keep those and listen in on those. Distractions, I'm grabbing a little bit of lunch, so it might be hard for me to hear at some points. And let me pass it to Mitch.
Hello. Yeah, I'm just here to talk about things, touch on PFP collection. I can give a tiny update on GiveFi. And other than that, just going to listen in and add my opinion on things. I'll pass it. Yes, Lauren?
Yeah, thanks, Mitch. I also wanted to just say, since you jumped in late, a few more people jumped in late. One other thing I'd love for people to do in their check-ins is also just like say if there's anything like from either GIVeconomy dev or research that is like, we definitely should talk about in this call, because I'm trying to cut scope of redundancy. So it's like all the fundraising things are staying in fundraising. So if there's anything that you're like, and also this call should definitely continue to be used for this thing, also let us know that. So you can continue, Mitch, if you want, and then you can pass it.
No, that's it. That's it. Probably the PFP collection is the only thing we have to talk about from my end. And I'll pass it on to Kotabe.
GM, everyone. So my intentions is just to sync up, maybe talk a little bit about the how to reach out to the dumper. I could use some help with that, and yeah, that's it. I have no distractions, and I'll pass it to Sherik.
Thank you, Katabe. Hello, guys. Nice to see you all. My intention for the call is talk about PFP collection and maybe have a plan to test it because we have a initial demo for it, but it's not completely yet. And I think we should consider many edge cases, but it's ready, and we can start testing. And about distraction, I'm caught cold and I'm not good. I pass it to Matteo.
Thank you, Shavik. Hey guys, hope you have an amazing Wednesday. From my side, I'm just interested in keeping sync and knowing what's all going on with the economy, and particularly give updates on the fiat integration. And yeah, not much. I'll pass it to Santi, you go?
No, thank you, Matteo. GM everyone. I'd like to talk everything related to the PFP collection today. And in general terms, I'd like to discuss any technological needs on the funds coming in. And I'll pass it to Tassin.
Hi everybody. So good morning, at least on my end. For me, I'm a little bit distracted. Trying to set up a few things in my apartment, and my intentions are to just listen in and sync with everybody. If I'm needed, just tag me. Pass to let's see, Franco.
Thank you, Tosin. Hello, everybody. Intentions for the call is just streaming. I'm wondering if for streaming purposes, should it be just called GIVeconomy now? Maybe. And okay, cool. And yeah, no distractions. I'm just doing some documentation on the background, and I'll pass it to Monique.
GM, I'm good. My intention is that I want to engage myself more in the dev side and get updated. Anything dev related. I'd love to stay for the other parts of the GIVeconomy call. I'd love to listen. I'm a little bit distracted working, and I pass it to. Help me, please.
It's just did it all. And that was so amazing also, guys. Everyone passed it to someone unique. That was so cool. Paying attention. Good job. Okay. Great. Let's start with the dev stuff. So my plan for this call is to start with all the development related issues, and then anyone who's like, I don't care about research stuff can leave. So we'll start with the PFP collection. So last week we talked about the next steps. I mean, I guess I'd love to hear from you, Chair, because you're saying we are ready for testing. Maybe you can give an update.
Yeah, it's ready. I can send the link for you. We don't have the responsiveness for the introduction page, and also we don't put the NFT on the header and footer because they're gonna be changing. But yeah, if you have the link, you can check it. This is the link. I can send it in the chat. Actually, it's better to check from here.
Ooh.
Yeah, we can mint. We can. You should connect your wallet, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, but as I told you, there are some edge cases that we should handle them. But what happened to you?
Oh, it wants me to switch to Gorley.
Yeah.
Not on the list.
No.
Oh yeah. So if you want to test, you're gonna have to give me an address, and then I can add you to the allow list.
Last time we talked about a list of people who would want it, and then giving it to a batch so you could add them.
Yeah, I just need a batch of addresses to add. Or I can just take the list of our fat list of NRGive addresses and just add them in. The test
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good and easy.
All right, I can just do that.
If that's like, you don't have to do them all like one by one. Do it that way. Just like
There's a function you can add them all in at once.
perfect. That's really easy. Yeah. So NRGive holders to be allow listed. Perfect. Nice. That's great. Wow, that's so great. Cool. Okay. Anything else we should talk about here on testing?
Actually, if you want to test, please consider and focus on the functionality, not the UI, because we need to have a call with Tosin separately and talk about some design and maybe need some emails to make it better. But yeah, I think we can check the functionality and focus on edge cases and find them and fix them before launching. Yeah.
Cool. Can we empower? Does Mary Jaff know also about this as well? It would be great.
Yeah,
She's
sure.
in
I don't know is she free or no, but maybe Monique can help us on it.
What do you think, Monique?
I think I supposed to prepare the list from the notes of the last week. I totally forgot that. Sorry. I have to prepare the list of testers and the contract address, send them some tokens. I think I'm supposed to do that. And yes, I have to onboard myself to it. I can make it.
Cool. Because you need to send people like test go early die or something like that.
I don't know. I think Mitch has to help me first. Maybe we can start.
You can get it on Uniswap. You just go on Uniswap on Gorley and you could use your Gorley ETH and get thousands of test die for
millions actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cheap.
Nice.
Okay. I think we can start trading the test reports channel, specifically for the PFP, and I may, start into writing a test document with the help of Mitch. Does that work, Mitch?
Test document, sure. Just like all the cases.
Yeah, all the cases, and like what we do for the give power, we can create a template for reporting bugs or issues, something like this that we had it before.
Cool. Great. That's very exciting. So let's see. So we added last week it was like we needed to add royalties. Did we add in this like secondary market fee transaction thing? Secondary transaction market thing?
Kind of. There's a standard that like an ERC standard, but it's not so enforced. It's like passing on the information to each marketplace, but it's not enforced on chain. OpenSea does have a way to do it. You like write it in their contract and basically OpenSea gets to decide who you can sell your PFP to. So I didn't go that route because it sounds kind of evil, but there's some information that I added to the metadata and some information I added to we can have the most reasonable amount of coverage with getting secondary market royalties without giving away parts of the control of the contract to someone else.
Okay. I don't really understand how it works, but it's still basically like it's going to apply the fee if anybody transfers it and we don't need to go through OpenSea, is what you're saying.
It will tell the marketplace how much to choose, but if the marketplace doesn't respect royalties, then there's nothing much we can do about it.
Okay.
there's a way to enforce it on chain, but that requires giving, like basically letting another entity control the whitelist of marketplaces.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like you're letting someone else decide who you can sell your PFP to.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't go for that one.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. I more or less understand, but sounds good. That sounds good enough. If we don't always get royalties, that's okay. Cool. Then what else do we have to do? I guess just the documentation. You're working on that, Mitch?
Santi pretty much wrote something already. I just need to plug it in and just polish it.
Great. Do we have any other things that we need to do for or discuss for the PFP collection in order to move forward? From anyone else? Anything? Cool. Great. Awesome. I'm really excited that this is like moving forward and ready for testing. Then let's move on to the next thing on the agenda. I put on here fiat testing. So Matteo, do you want to give us an update?
Yeah, sure, Lauren. A couple of things. Yesterday on Ramper released a new version. So it's just a slight change. We have a new API key, and the widget is going to look different, supposedly better. I hope that we can have a better coverage with this version. It's supposed to help us with that. So I'm waiting today to be handled the API key. After that is done, I will be telling the testing team to start over that, and everyone that is interested in helping, you can also do it. So I think by the end of the day we can have it. I hope sooner even. I just DM Leroy so we can have the API key faster. And the second part is the Mount Pellerin top-up. I think Tosin is almost done with the design. After that's ready, I will implement it. It should be super easy. And this won't be like a fiat donation, but it will help at least the user grab some XDAI and do it super easier than just, not being able to donate with crypto. With fiat, sorry. So yeah, those are the two main points, and that's it.
Cool. Tosin, how are you doing with the design? Do you have any questions or anything you need to move forward?
No, not really. I think we already had the feedback session with Bill. I have everything I need, and the design should be ready today.
Great. Cool. Any questions or concerns, thoughts on fiat testing? Great. Wow.
Just really quick, the fiat testing success rate needs to be high before we ever go live, just to reiterate.
Yeah. But I hope this on-ramper update makes that better. Apparently it's supposed to. But thanks, Griff. Great. Next thing I just had on here, Region Farms redesign. I just wanted to be like, hey, Chair, now that the Minter page is done, just wanted to put this in front of you again. Are we going to be, do you have time this week to pick that up, the redesign of the Region Farms?
Some task on dApps should to think. I think.
Oh, you're breaking up a lot, Chair. It's like we only hear every third word.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the next week I can start it, but the remaining days of this week I have some task on the dApps. Should I done?
Great, thanks. No worries. It's cool. Honestly, it's not like super urgent to get that up there. I just don't want us to forget. So perfect. Then sunsetting Giveth trace. Isn't in this call. Honestly, I'm just wondering if there's anything else we need to do because I don't understand all these like server migrations and stuff. But I don't think anyone here probably knows. Okay. Next thing on here is
Sorry, it's worth. Sorry, Lauren. It's worth mentioning about we had still some trace elements in the dev. For example, in the donation tab in the in the single project page, we still have a trace tab there. Sometimes I can see the trace badge in a project view, and I think we have to consider all of this. Maybe I have to create task and report in our next meeting.
I wonder if yeah, so it just basically somebody needs to go through the DAP with like a fine-tooth comb and look to see if it's saying trace anywhere and all this stuff, right?
Yeah, I can make it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking maybe this is something Suga could do. I don't know if you want to pass it off, Monique, but because she was looking, I don't know. Suga's in this call.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Suga, do you want to help with that? Because you were looking already at the FAQ and everything. Yeah. Sure. That would be really cool. So basically, just like go through the DAF, click all the things, all the different tabs and pages, and make sure that we're not like sending people to trace or telling people it's a traceable project, and we're not like Giveth trace is this active thing we're still doing, and then you can just like make issues that are like either copy fixes or like remove this label, etc. And you can tag me and Monique on them.
Okay, no problem.
Yay! And then there's also the Suga, there's also the issue about the FAQ. I think we were gonna change the copy of the question. You were like, "Oh, that sounds good," but I think that it's still just sitting in there and probably slipped off your radar. So
yeah, thanks. I saw that today. I kind of misunderstood. I thought that you were gonna fix it. I don't know what I thought, but I see it now. I'll take care of it.
Okay, thank you. Cool, perfect. Great, thanks Monique and thanks Suga. Great, moving on. I just wanted to touch in on GiveFi. So actually, honestly, I think this is like now this is the end of the dev stuff, and now we're gonna move into like transitional dev research stuff. That's like this is the part of the call where we slightly transition. This is like GiveFi's like researchy development, and then we'll talk about QF, and then we'll kind of go into the more kind of like ethereal research topics. So anyway, that's where we're moving. If that's relevant to you, feel free to adapt. Mitch, do you want to give any updates on GiveFi, or do you have any blockers or anything you need in this call?
Well, I did a couple hours of research with Kurt today. Just an update, like last call, we kind of honed in on spec. So give savings will be done first. We're going to have one vault that accepts one token that uses one strategy, and projects will be able to send funds from their wallet into this vault. It's like really, really, really basic. And so the first thing we had to decide was like, what strategies do we use? Like whose strategies? Maybe there's a grants program. There was a lot of talk around using like a balancer pool or like using the balancer grants. I looked at it for a couple hours and I couldn't like see how it quite fits into what we need to do. The biggest complication with balancer, I know Griff was a big champion of this, trying to get some money from them to build it, is like a lot of the rewards, because like ideally, just to like zoom out, ideally if it's like a project puts in DAI, they should get DAI back, right? Just simplicity, it's the cheapest on gas, it's like, yeah. But balancer gives most of the rewards back in balancer tokens, you know? Usually half or more in some So that's a technical hurdle, because if we have to convert funds, it like becomes exponentially more expensive to run GiveFi. So that was hard, to kind of reconcile. Some really good other options that might work out of the box are Yearn Vault, Beef Finance Vaults, which are really, really promising to use and well documented. So I mean that's basically it where we're at with the research for this. If anyone wants to chime in.
Do you know if Beefy or Yearn have grant programs?
That was my next thing. I couldn't find anything, but like I only scratched the surface, really. In their Discords, I was control ads, trying to find information like that, and I didn't see anything. They're talking about it, but there's nothing like official, So we'll see. But the nice thing that Kurt says is like a lot of the stuff we want to do might work like out of the box with just changing like very small things, in terms of vault strategies. It's like he seems confident we wouldn't change much from the standards.
If managed pools can hold the assets that we would normally hold anyway,
But it's
wouldn't
like the managed pools don't earn a yield. They're like, it's like a managed index, there's very little documentation on these managed pools,
Yes.
except for the Wall Street Bets integration. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But from what I understand is the managed pools, they're just like a managed index. So I don't think there's any like strategies per se, like earn yield on them.
Well, I mean, from a technical standpoint, don't you end up with, like when you deposit into a Yearn vault, don't you end up with a Yearn token?
Yes,
And
you end up with the vault token.
Couldn't you put that vault token in a managed pool against some other token, or even just
What would be the point of that?
Getting a $100,000 grant from Balancer
To use to put a vault token. Okay. I think it adds lots more complexity because you're having a vault and putting it into this other thing, and then where does that pool token turn another token that you give to the end user? Like, we'll see, but again, there's very little documentation on these managed pools.
Yeah, I'm with you on the early stage documentation in this, but this is why they would pay us a lot of money to use it, right? Because it's not really ready to be used, and then we become beta testers for them. But
Sure. It depends because if it adds, like, if it doubles or triples the complexity of what we're trying to do for an MVP just so they pay for it, it's like,
it's worth it. I agree. We don't have the cash, man. So if someone will pay us to do work, we got to prioritize it. I mean, I get that the scope will be worse and maybe the product will be worse, but
I mean, that's a really tough, getting someone to pay us to build a product that's good. And if we just use stuff that works out of the box,
Yeah.
But anyway, I hear your point.
Yeah.
I hear your point.
I agree that it's poorly documented. There is a balancer, like I know, like there is a balancer, like office hours, I think, and maybe at least just like throwing it by them, because I think that the managed pool is more feature rich than you think.
Hopefully, but again, there's no.
The way to know would be to somehow squeeze into some time with someone who really knows the intricacies of the managed pools. So I don't know if we can like dig into their Discord and find a moment with a human.
Or could we even just ask Fabio who might that be and to like connect us with them?
Yeah, let me see. I messaged Fabio to see if we could score a moment, but
Sure. I mean, I can try and go to these office hours and see, but I think like the better solution will be find someone with a grants program, like already using something that we want to do, like with a vault or a strategy. Without and increasing complexity and scope to get money, let's try and find somebody that's doing exactly what we're doing and have a grants program. That would be the dream.
of course, that
Yeah.
that would be the if you got another option with a grants program, oh baby.
Yeah. There's so many, it's got to be like well documented, it's got to be safe, it's got to be, yeah.
Ave might have a grants program.
Mm-hmm. Here we are, grants hunting, GiveFi research.
Exactly.
So it goes. It's like it's one of the most important things we need to do. All right, cool. Well, that sounds good. Sounds like a good jumping off point. Mitch, do you have any other things you might need?
No, I think it'll be interesting to have like at least some designers start thinking about what this might look like.
Do you yeah, do you want Tossin's our only designer on this call. I'm wondering if you want to like sync up with him. Tossin, do you maybe even have the bandwidth and you wanted to talk to Mitch a little bit about just like the concept, the idea, so you can start thinking about it? Or even just go through the spec?
Sure, we could actually set up a meeting. Yeah, I have the bandwidth.
Sure. I mean, yeah, the design is not ultimate priority right now, but it's going to be complex, so it's something that you're probably going to want for a while.
Okay, no problem. I'll reach out to you after the meeting.
Sure.
Cool. I also just linked the GiveFi spec here in the chat for you, Tossin, if you wanted to like take a look at that and read it, and then when if you meet with Mitch, then you can ask more questions or whatever. Yay. Okay. So then the next thing, well, the next thing that was kind of like then related to that is QF, which I didn't put on the agenda, but then Griff mentioned it this morning. QF, there's some action in the forum right now. Like Mitch left a good comment, and I was like working on replying as well to that. I don't know if anybody has any like questions that they want to bring up in this call. Personally, I think that like we could continue to just discuss in the forum for like a few more days before it really needs more call time. But I want to leave the space in case anyone's like, what? Well then, forum post is linked also in our notes doc here. So then the other things I have, okay, yeah. And then there's NFT integration. So this is like also like from the research call, and Griff mentioned it in the second thing you wanted to talk about. It's like, I guess like, do we have any blockers or any progress on NFT integration stuff? I don't even know where the last update was from last
No, we're just waiting for some meetings. I'm gonna try to arrange some meetings for December with the 3 final platforms that I was researching on, and after that we can decide how do we want to move forward.
Okay. With 3 or 8. Do we have an issue for this, like a GitHub issue where we can kind of keep updates in it?
No, I'm gonna create one.
Yeah, that would be great. And then you could put in there like the different orgs that you're talking about, and maybe even like also tag Griff, because I saw in the research call notes that we were also like planning to meet with them, and maybe he could talk with them and discuss. And
Right. Okay, I'll create one, and I'll add just about everything that I've been working on.
cool. If you do create it during this call time, link it in the chat, and I can post it in the notes doc as well. Okay. Then we've got, so Katabi, you wanted a little bit of support on the outreach to give drop dumpers.
Yeah, I researched a couple of options. I was researching into wallet chat, and then I think that I found an even better option, which is Blockscan, chat.blockscan.com. And I think I can reach out to all. I was trying it out, and I can chat to all of the. I tried a couple. I haven't tried all, but it seems that it's working well. And I just wanted to know if you had any other ideas, or you knew like a messaging system for wallets that was flawless or something, because I think that this one, if the person is not registered, I mean, at least they won't get a notification. So who knows if they will see it sometime. But I just really don't know the space. So if anyone knows the space a little bit better and cares to give some comments or suggestions, I'm happy to receive them.
I was just wondering, like, because I think a lot of these addresses, don't we already know who they are? Like, we have an ENS, or like we have their name associated with their address for the give drop. Maybe Griff, you know?
We have a names list that we use for the give back system that we can kind of repurpose.
Okay, because I'm thinking, I don't know.
If you give me those addresses, I can give you the names.
Okay.
It's probably the easiest way.
Okay, so Katabe, can you give the addresses to Griff then?
Yeah, absolutely. What's the best way? Just DM or
DM for
issue?
sure. DM for
Okay.
sure, and I am booked solid today. Please, we don't need this today, right? I cannot prioritize, even like
No.
5 minutes.
That's fine. That's fine.
But he can still DM you the addresses today, and then you can do it when you can.
Yes, exactly. I'll just leave the DM unread like the other wall of DMs, the other DMs I have.
Oh, Griff. It breaks my heart. Oh, you poor thing. Okie dokie. Do you need any other support on that, Katabe?
No, I think with that we're fine. Thank you.
Great. Great. Okay, the other things that I pulled over from the research call, there's the givebacks token list. I mean, there are still some tokens that we need to remove, but Mohammed isn't here, so I don't know if there's anything that really needs to be said about this. I think there were some comments.
I do have something. I was making a demo the other day of a donation for someone that had USDT. And I think, I mean, I did sell USDT in the list, and I think that CoinGecko shows that it has no liquidity. But I also just made transactions with USDT on Gnosis, and it seems that it has. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not seeing it, but like I have been able to do some transactions with USDT, so without slippage. So I don't know if that's a mistake, and I think it's
on
just
what channel?
weird.
Or sorry, on what chain? On XDAI or on mainnet?
Yeah, on XDAI, with Honeyswap. So I was just wondering if that was a mistake, because it seems like not having USDT it's a big one.
I think it's UST that we're trying to remove.
Yeah,
The Luna token.
I'm pretty
should
sure
make sure it's not-
USDT was not give back eligible, at least.
Oh, it's not on. So you're trying to add it to the XDAI token list because it's not on the XDAI token. Oh no, it is. It says it's there. Oh yeah, it says remove illiquid and very volatile tokens.
Yeah.
Exactly. We just removed it, and I think, I mean, I did saw it. I actually was checking with Bridges some of this work, and I saw it, and CoinGecko didn't have much information about liquidity in Gnosis, but I think it was a mistake.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
There's more than that. Like, I mean, you can even still, like, UST on mainnet is still there, Dappnode is still there. Like, the issue is open because, and then Monique was just asking if Mohammed would remove them from the database so they stop showing up. But it's like, you know, he needs to reply. So I think, yeah, it's not presumed to be fixed yet. But Mohammed's not.
But you're right. I don't think that should be removed. I think they meant that there's a mistake there, and that it's supposed to be UST. So.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we should not be removing it USDT from the token list.
On XY?
Yeah, right? If it has good liquidity, why would we remove it?
Oh, is that what you were saying, Katavi, that it has good liquidity?
I think so. I mean, I saw CoinGecko like last time that I saw it, and it didn't say that it had good liquidity on like the market, and I can check it again. But I just made a part of the money that I had. I turned it into USDT, like maybe $1,000, and I didn't have any slippage. So I mean that's not much money, right? But I don't know. I just think it's weird not to have USDT for the GIVEX program because I just saw an example of it when I was doing a demo, and I had to say to this person like, "Hey, well, I changed to XDAI and we did all that part, but I just think it should be there probably."
Yeah, sounds good. Well, I just put a comment on the issue, just asked Breachies to double check, and then we can kind of add it back in there. I tagged you as well, Katavi, so if you want to like follow up on that discussion.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
Great. Okay.
Sorry, there's an issue that Breachies had related to this about adding the bank token to our givebacks list. That's in the forum.
Oh yeah.
And kind of while we're on that one, got the alpha and Lauren's.
Oh, it's like, don't read that. I mean,
That's funny.
I'm making titles.
She made a separate one for adding bank. But basically the TLDR is like, we're kind of doing this praise integration with them and getting a bit closer, and somebody was asking if they could donate bank. But I looked at it and Breachies looked at it, and there's like, it doesn't meet our minimum required liquidity. So it's like kind of like a nice to have, but it's also like, I don't know. That's a really big problem if they don't have enough liquidity, because then our economy is very easy to game.
Definitely.
We should tell them to add some liquidity. I mean, we don't require that much liquidity. I would think that there's some rich bank people that'd be like, oh, okay, I'll add some liquidity.
Right. But in the meantime, like if nobody does it, we just like, yes, have it on the token list. No, you don't get givebacks.
Yeah.
Because if it's cheap to game, I mean, we're in trouble, you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, just wanted to bring that up while we were related.
Also related, but in a different direction, because I don't see it on the topic, on the agenda, but I wanted to discuss our grant proposals that we're making for Giveth that are focused around like adding different chains to our application. So long story short, no one's into adding their chain unless they also get givebacks on the chain. So like the idea of donating on on an L1, the idea of an L1 giving us a grant, and then when people donate on their L1, they get tokens on Gnosis, is a deal breaker. So what would make sense would be creating givebacks and give streams on each L1 chain for the donors on that chain. This would also enable, if we had a token distro on these chains, it would also enable other things potentially, like, but it will be really annoying as well. However, that is way more appealing, and our offers are like, hey, if you want, this is great for you because, hey, guess what? Your L1 gets these give streams that people earned for donating, and they have to come back to your chain for the next 4 years to collect it. That's like a really good sell. And and we basically say, give us $50,000 and $200,000 for an LP, and give us another like $30,000 or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, so we can give 300 projects $100 worth of your token. You know, like, and then we'll do it. So it's, I think the like what we get is enough for the headache, but it will be a headache. So I just want to throw that out there because we are pushing these grants to projects, and yeah, what do you guys think?
So like we would need to basically bridge a bunch of give tokens to whatever chain, and then like the next kind of like weird thing is like we won't have liquidity for give on those tokens, and then so it's like
No, we would. They would give us $200,000 worth of their token to create an LP pool.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think let's like, man, we're so far behind, like only being on Gnosis chain and mainnet. So
Yeah, I mean,
you're
I
right,
think
it's gonna be a pain in the ass.
especially for chains like Polygon, which is like super popular, and like even Optimism and Celo is becoming really popular. I think a lot of these ones that we're applying to, that's like, oh yeah, people want this chain. It's valuable to have give on it. So are we changing our grant proposals then based on like we're thinking about changing the way that we're addressing the conversation, Griff?
We already have. We've already started this. This was like from feedback.
FYI.
Yeah, this is more like FYI. Hey, in the end, maybe no one accepts it. It's one hell of a, we're asking for a lot here. So maybe everyone says no when we have to sweeten the deal even more and go back to them. I don't know. But we're trying. We're trying.
Well, that's good to know. Great.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of headaches for our own internal accounting. I don't think it's hard, but we'll have to like get give tokens out of the token distro on Gnosis, put it in these other things, and then remember that to maintain the accounting on givebacks on every chain so that we like can rebalance it in 4 years,
Yeah. What do you mean rebalance it every 4 years?
Well, not every 4 years, but in 4 years, like all the token distros streams will be empty, but there'll be a bunch of give tokens left over because not all the give backs were claimed. Like this last round, for instance, we didn't give out 1 million give tokens. So there's going to be like this, we can play within that buffer of give tokens that haven't been distributed, in previous rounds. But we're going to have some leftovers. We just need to have good accounting. Accounting is really easy now for givebacks when we're all on one chain. It's going to be a fucking mess when it's on every chain.
Yeah, we'd have to then like we'd still send givebacks out like via Aragon votes, and then like our distro, yeah, because like how are we gonna allocate streams on Polygon?
Probably with a multi-sig, because that's a lot easier. And
the only way is going to be multi-sigs if you want it to be on all these chains.
Yeah, because Aragon's not even on a lot of these chains.
I think that's okay. In some ways, it's even easier.
Yeah, if you guys sign them.
I sign everything you ping us on, Mitch. I'm like your number one signer. Cool. Well, great. I mean, I think it's definitely worthwhile working out the headaches of it if people are interested in that. So just keep us posted then, Griff, or whoever's working in grants. I do want to touch. Thanks. Yeah, cool. I do want to touch on just like there's a couple of last things on here that were from the research call that like maybe we need to touch on. my NFT PFP auction. Do we need to create an issue for that? Are we sending them NFTs? Has this already been decided? And is this the right call to talk about it in? It's like,
I'm not sure if this is the right call to talk about it, but we're in touch with them. We're just waiting for them to give us the final dates that we will be using to auction 5 of our NFTs from the PFP collection.
okay, cool. Is there an issue for this too?
It's added on the issue where we are adding absolutely everything for the communication on the NFT collection.
Okay, cool. Then the other thing is the World Food Program. I guess you're having a meeting on the 10th, Katabe. I thought this was like a dead thing.
Not if I can help it. Yeah, I'm just trying. But I reached out to Susana and she said like, what happened? So she was not really aware. I think so. It's interesting because the people that actually said like we are going to hold this partnership were not from the World Food Program. They were from the Blockchain Business Council. I'm missing a G. Global Blockchain Business Council, who are working with the World Food Program. And so Susana, that is from the World Food Program, said like, well, I don't know, like let's have a talk. So I'm just trying to see if something can still come out of here.
Great.
And they want to maybe make a demo on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to join, DM me.
Great, that's amazing. Thank you, Katabe. And then there was also just like this issue or this like big long saga of getting Give on dexes, and there's like still an epic and a couple of outstanding issues in there. I know Jake, you're doing a ton of work on this. Is there still any more forward momentum, or like we've kind of done most of them? There's a couple like Trust Wallet and Uniswap that are still in here open. Jake. Wait. Oh yeah.
That directed at me. I'm sorry. I'm having really bad connection right now.
Yeah, I just wanted to check in on getting Give on various dexes. This Epic is still here, and I think we haven't touched on it in a little while. And there's still Trust Wallet and Uniswap, and Yas is assigned on them. Are we still doing this? Are these like they're like one of them has?
Yeah. Yeah, let me follow up with Yaz because you're right. The only ones that are still open are the ones that Yaz was looking at. So let me touch base with her, see where she's at on it, and if she's good with where we stand, or try to move it through the GitHub pipeline there and try to close it out. So I'll touch base with her. But all of mine are closed out, and all of mine except for 1 inch were listed on. And 1 inch is just because of liquidity. And so once we get there, I think we'll be able to come back to 1 inch.
Epic. Epic. You're such a hero, Jake. Thank you.
Yeah, glad I could help.
So on 1 inch, I guess like how much liquidity do they need? And like, should we just like, once we get that amount of liquidity, should we just like remember, are you keeping track of this?
Yeah, I have it in the CRM as a note. That once we hit that, it's 200K and it has to be an equal 50-50 split between Give and the other liquidity.
Okay. Then
in the pool.
we don't have that on mainnet. Okay.
Yeah, on mainnet it has to be equal.
Yeah, and we actually have over 200K liquidity. It's just not 50-50.
Yeah, with the Ichi.
Okay. Okay, cool. We are almost at the top of the call, and those are all the things that I had on the agenda that I've also pulled from like last week's research call notes. Is there anything else that I'm missing that I was like, wait, but I really want to talk about this? Treasury management, pitch deck stuff. These are things I didn't put on the notes. No. Okay.
Yeah. Successful merge of calls.
Successful merge of calls. Successful merge of calls, and we're still done 3 minutes early. Thanks everyone for
The
working.
merge is complete.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later.
Great facilitation.
Bye.
Thank you.
Well done.